Hi and welcome back to Monster Loves You, the story RPG thing. Let's go back to this one. Politics with monsters. Explore the whale mist. Let's do that. Bloody one, obviously. You stalk the forest, hunting an elusive swift elk. Suddenly it emerges from the underbrush, lowering its antlers and pawing at the ground. It's going to charge. Perfect, tear it apart. And go. The elk charges and you duck under it, slashing a hole in its chest. Instead of a heart you find nothing. The elk turns, catches you with its antlers and flings you into a tree. What the? The elk bounds away. It's unkillable. There's nothing that's unkillable. After it, leave the elk in the woods, return to Omen and warn everyone about the strange elk. Let's go fucking get it. You keep chasing the elk until it pauses to drink from a stream. Then you spring at it without fear and tear it limb from limb, head from body, antler from skull. Roar! Its pieces are still twitching as you devour them. You are filled with a strange heat, but it soon fades. How bracing. Other monsters comment on the new swagger in your step as you return to Omen. Well, that was pretty gory. Let's go for that one. You're following a deer in the forest when the trail comes to an abrupt end just in front of a cave entrance. The hoofprints look strange, like a deer double-backed, walking backwards in its own tracks. It's a trap. Okay, so what do you do about it, smart monster? Turn the trap against the deer. You walk into the cave and find Hamrag taking one of his famous naps. The huge monster is known for his irritability when he's awakened. A twig snaps in the bushes, the deer is fleeing. Draw the deer closer. You shriek and crouch, readying your claws. Hamrag starts to wake up. Now go. Ferocity. The deer has crept forward to watch you spring the trap, and it caught by surprise as you leap back out the cave. You kill it with a single swipe of your claws. That'll teach that bastard. Hamrag stumbles out of the cave, half asleep but ready to fight. Let's give him some deer meat. You mollify the huge monster with half the deer carcass. Hamrag says, "Hey, you can wake me up anytime if it's going to be with a meal like that." Well, you are welcome, Hamrag. Let's do some politics. The meat one. Gobclaws and you are arguing about what to have for lunch. She got to pick last time. Suddenly your favourite food flies down from the sky and perches within arm's reach. The magpie chirps. Have either of you seen a cornfield around here? I should have done that in voice really. Your stomach growls. It's tough, but help the bird scream and flee. Eat the bird. Oh, oops. Well. Whoops. Let's continue, shall we? That one. Gobclaws shows off a human doll she found in the last hunt. A crowd of enders and other monsters gather around you, chattering excitedly. Indeed. She asks you if you think it might be good to show the doll to some of the monsterlings. Let them see a human-shaped thing without actually seeing a real human. You know, educational. Absolutely. Gobclaws can see that you're bringing some science here. She hangs on your words as she does the rest of the crowd. So cuddling cute. Let's go with that one. So they don't freeze up. Gobclaws nods. Good point. We want the young ones to avoid humans, but not to be frightened. They do anything foolish. Yeah, I got my respect back. Gobclaw says, you're wiser than the rest of us. The rest of the monsters nod half-heartedly, but you can tell they appreciate your insight. Well, isn't that running? A small pack of elder monsters are huddled at the edge of Omen, watching the woods and discussing something in a hushed tone. Listen in. Elder Hamrag is saying, this could simply be a rumour. We don't know they're out there for sure. Ask what's going on. Hamrag says, some of the younger monsters have seen others in the whale mist. Monsters from no town we know of. Thin and cold, without food or shelter. Suggest everyone be on guard. What? Greedblitz scoffs, that much is obvious, Dunderhead. If we see strangers, we should drive them off or kill them. The other elders don't seem so sure. Bollocks. What's that one? Your neighbour, the elder monster Eulalia, walks slowly in the direction of the brood cave. Let's follow her. As she passes down the road, some of the others nod to her. They then go to her hub and start smashing things. Ask an elder what's going on. Greedblitz stops tearing apart Eulalia's dining room table and says she feels herself beginning to dissolve. She's going to go release herself and become one of the slime in the spawning vat. Let's find out what happens. Monsters who get to a certain age either settle into their personality and shape forever, or they let themselves become one with the slime from which they came. Their personality can have an effect on the future generations of monsterlings. Let's go and thank her. You're going to be remembered, Eulalia, and we'll see a bit of you in every monsterling from now on. Eulalia wipes a slimy tear from one of her smaller eyes and sniffs. Tell her a joke. You ask, what did the talking wolf say to the bear? Eulalia pauses, raises 6-foot eyebrows and waits for the answer. You realise you don't have a punchline, but for the silent squirrel could her ears fall off. Awkward. That would be even more awkward. Eulalia waves goodbye to you and resumes her work to the brood cave. You never see her again. Okay. Let's do the goat. A squirrel hops into a pool of sunlight, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, ready to bury nuts and make something itself. You drop on it from a branch, grab it and twist its head off. Delicious decapitation. A young wolf suddenly leaps in front of you, snaps the squirrel out of your claws and runs off laughing and barking. Wolves can bark now, isn't that only dogs? Turn the tables on the wolf. Chase the wolf. Let's turn the fucking tables. A second squirrel creeps up and pokes at the discorporated head of the first one. You grab the new squirrel and chew on it a little, thinking. Lure the wolf closer. You dangle the squirrel over your maw, waiting. The wolf tries to steal it, as planned. You slash her with your claws and she flees, having learned not to mess with you again. Good. Sword. You find a red hood and a basket in the middle of the forest path. Your human house is nearby. Funny, you never noticed it before. Let's circle the house. There's a great deal of blood in the yard, along with a half-dead wolf coughing weakly. Oh, this. Red Riding Hood. Kill the wolf, ask the wolf what happened. Woodcutter's friend. You can't trust them. Beware their axes are even worse than knives. The wolf finishes dying. Let's respect that wolf. You're not sure if you're respecting the human capacity for killing or the wolf's perfectly timed last words. But before you can come to a decision, you've grown bored. Let's eat the wolf. You haul the strangely heavy carcass back home. An elder points out a long sewn up gash down the wolf's belly and says it was good work. Let's take his credit. What? The elder's impressed. You open the gash and find stones inside the wolf. How odd. Oh, funny. Explore the whale mist. The laughing one. A flock of geese are in the square. No honk. One can talk honk above the din honk. Nash screams. Last one to drive them away is a loser. And she's on that human scooter she found. Let's have a cool secret weapon. You run to Hamrank's hovel and borrow the fox pelt he uses as a doormat. Let's gear up. Plunk it on your head, you run towards the geese, growling and yipping. The geese swarm you. Uh-oh, you can think of two good options. We've got to out-honk them, come on. You honk so loudly the geese think you to be the boss goose and follow you to the nearest pond. And Nash accepts the loss and scoots off. Because we are the king goose. Obviously. The angry one. You're bringing home a human coat you found hanging on a tree when you see a cat waving at you. Hi, cat. The cat is standing on his hind legs wearing human boots and indeed is covered in human clothing artifacts. Save me, he cries, pointing a wolf who has it cornered. Get the wolf. Puss in Boots. Attack the wolf cautiously. You leap on the wolf, keeping an eye on the cat. Good thing too, since the minute your back is turned, he tries to take your coat you found. Let the wolf go and attack the cat. You attack the cat, but he smirks and runs away at the amazing speed. Maybe those boots are magical. Fucking Puss in Boots. We got 4 left there. Let's do one of these ones. You hear Grit Mitten telling younger monsters about the human that almost killed him. It's the pointy parts that get you, he says. Listen in. Always wait until the knife is pointing somewhere else, then run away. He turns to you and says, isn't that right? I don't know what we should go with. Let's just explain to him that a knife is always dangerous. You calmly expand on Grit Mitten's tale, sharing what you have learned about the frightening blades of the humans. 2 young monsters promise that they will treat such things with respect, even if nobody's holding one. Good little monsters. One more of these ones. And then one more of both, I reckon. Let's do this cunning. Blitztree comes to you, flapping her winglets and clutching her claws. Mupsy Morrow is looking for me. I overslept. I missed the hairy hare hunt. Okay. Blitztree suddenly leaps to the top of garbage can, spreads her winglets and glides away. Weird. Just then, Mupsy Morrow rolls into Portent Square, penning, pad, grasping her fin claws. Did you see Blitztree come through here? I want to make sure everyone knows the truth. Tell her I overslept? Mupsy laughs and prints the story. Your quote is an instant hit. Tell the truth. Some of the elders start calling Blitztree Blitztree. At least no one will miss the next hairy hare hunt, right? Okay, which one do we want to do with this? Let's do this one. Monsters are gathering around the skull pole. They invite you to dance with them. Dance! The only problem is you've never done the skull dance and now everyone is watching you. Imitate everyone else. They're looking at you, right at you, expectantly. Begin to dance. You move close to the skull pole. We're monsters, do that one. Oh. You look up from the clumsiest place, find several of the others hiding their eyes behind their claws and tentacles. They walk away. Ah, bastards. Let's do this one. The spine doctor has asked you to catch a special fox. It limps, she said, and it coughs. I need it quickly, if at all. Why do you need the fox? The spine doctor swats you with one prickly arm. There's no time for questions. Get the fox or don't. After it. You go forth into the forest, trailing the fox. As you get closer, you catch a glimpse of its ragged ears between 2 trees. The fox is limping, slowly. As you draw near, you smell something sickly sweet. The fox slumps and vomits green matter into the forest floor. Your claws tremble at the thought of touching it. Let's do that one. Chase the fox but keep watching. Unfortunately, the fox easily loses you in the whale mist. You're never absolutely sure it was there at all. Could you have imagined seeing it? Probably not, but regardless, you return to Omen in shame. The doctor says nothing, but other monsters point and whisper in the streets. They're not very nice, are they? Okay, your body begins to soften. It's dripping slime at the most convenient times. Elder monsters begin to look at you with understanding in their eyes. What's happening? You're growing old, my friend. You're not a spry monsterling anymore. Go see the spine doctor? The doctor tells you that your time is almost up. You'll soon reach the end of adulthood and you either ascend to elder status or dissolve into slime. What happens to those who ascend? Those who are able to ascend will become elders and live on to dictate the future of monster kind. Can the process be slowed or stopped? Not medically. There is an extract that, properly prepared, can give you a few more days to put your affairs in order. The doctor tells you that you must obtain a tentacle fern in the forest. Let's go for it. Following the spine doctor's directions, you enter the whale mist in search of a tentacle fern. They're common in these woods. Bigger fern. You wade through a thicket of the sticky green coils, letting them brush against your hide until one latches thermally in place. That means it's ripe. You bare your claws and snip the fern off at the base. What's that sound? It's a younger monster trying not to be noticed. Let's talk to her. You don't recall this monster's name, but you think you've seen her in Omen. She says, "Why are you dripping so much slime?" You look behind you and see a trail of goopy fluids. Explain about dissolution. The young monster seems terrified at the thought of dissolving. She says, "It's not fair. Animals live much longer than we do, and humans longer still." Tell her it's natural for monsters and nothing to fear. Tell her she's right to be upset. Let's say it's natural to fear. You remind her that this is the cycle of life, and that it's always been this way. We carry in us the remnant of thousands of monsters who came and went before us. She seems reassured. Explain about ascendance. You point back towards Omen, and it's not over for everyone, and the other monsters respect you enough. You can live on as an elder, to share your wisdom directly and help care for the monsterlings. Go on. She said, I'd like to do that. Is that what you're going to do? Let's lie to her. You smile and nod. I'm sure you're seeing me around in the future. She nods happily and leaves you to your task. You return to the spine doctor with the tentacle fern. She takes it from you. We can't ascend if we take this. Let's just go home. The doctor smiles as you turn to leave. So if you accept your fate, that's for the best. Nod to the doctor and go on. A group of elders is waiting inside your hovel. It is time to dissolve or ascend. I don't think we're going to be able to make it, to be honest. We're only at 41%. The elders of Omen surround the spawning vat, and you. Your body's already squishy and damp. They bring out a small cauldron. Examine the cauldron. It's big enough to hold a little blood and slime from many monsters at once. It smells like iron and copper and herbs. They're building a small fire up beneath it. What can I do? This is your last chance. You can stay or go. If you stay, it's time to take the test, become an elder, or to dissolve into the spawning vat. Let's stay and be tested. When the elders see that you have accepted your fate, they all relax as well. Someone asks you if you want to ascend, or if this is the end for you. Let's try and ascend. A masked elder comes forward and stands before the iron cauldron. It's time to decide whether you'll ascend to elderhood or dissolve to the next generation. Watch. She claws at her arms and holds out 3 drops of liquid spatter against the bottom of the empty cauldron. You can't tell for sure if it's blood or slime. The green elder asks, "Who has already chosen?" And some of the monsters approach their cauldron to add their own fluids to the cauldron. The collection. The liquid begins to tremble. The nameless elder has placed 5 small flat stones on the ground before you. She says, "Choose one. Chance will guide your claw." Let's look at the stones. Each stone is stained with old blood and polished by the touch of many monsters' hands. You can't tell which is which. We're just going to have to pick one that looks good. As you reach for the stone, someone shrieks in the distance. All eyes turn in the direction. You realise you can peek under stones if you're quick. No, let's resist temptation. You wait a moment and the shrieking dies away. All elders return to watch you. The other side of the stone is etched with a crude glyph. It shows a monster holding one claw, speaking intently. The greener says, honesty, but you have just passed that test. The other side of the stone is etched with a crude glyph. It shows a monster facing down a human. The green elder says, "We will test your bravery." Be tested. Elder adds stick and dry leaves to the fire until it grows huge and hot. They retreat before the roaring flames, one by one, until only you remain. Just try and stay the fire. It's hot, very hot. And your body begins to pull away on its own. You gather your will and remain in place. Your excess slime begins to dry out and crack, but as the fire dies down, you're still here. Phew! Several monsters howl their approval and step forward, adding more fluids to the iron cauldron. Approach the cauldron. You hold the cauldron. It's heavy. Look in the cauldron. It's quite full and there's far more blood in there than slime. You hold the cauldron. It's heavy. Drink the poisonous infusion. You drink the bubbling concoction, then belch and howl. Your body solidifies almost instantly. You're an elder now. Yay, we did it.